Hello everyone, it's Sound McRom, and we're back in our Snowball Earth playthrough, which I'm calling the Frostbitten Realms. This one I named the world for this vintage story. As you can see, my character is shivering. This is picking right up where we left off, where we had just made this primitive survival raft as an experiment. But we're going to start a fire here and warm our character up. Running low on firewood, so I'm going to have to do something about that here soon. I need to figure out where I'm going to store some stuff. Here we go. Okay, these are pelts. That's why it's not letting me stack that in there. I'm just going to use this pelt. Yep, okay. Okay, I can use it to make a large hide. Alright. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, so that one's fresh for 50 days. Find a place to store some of this stuff here. I had a box right here. We'll do. Let's put that up there. I'll throw some things in here until I can get a better storage situation set up. There we go. Alright. Slowly but surely we're getting our storage sorted out here. And realistically, what I'm going to need is some more fat. These are both oiled, so those are drying. Good, and we're warmed up here. Do I have anything else I can work with for the moment? No, okay. So now... Pardon me. I'm still getting over this chest congestion or whatever I had coming out of this vacation. And I was thinking about this as far as this playthrough goes. Like, yeah, we've been exploring this little bit of land up here, and we've made our primitive raft. But I think I really want to head a bit south. Because when making the world, it dawned on me that I kind of made a slight mistake. I made it permanently winter, as well as making it a snowball Earth, which, you know, I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to leave that as is. I'm just going to be part of the challenge for now. So we will figure that out as we play through here. I was hearing some critters out there. The other real problem I've got is I don't have clay. Pardon me. It is so cold here, we're not getting any clay. Which is going to make advancing very difficult as we move forward. So I think I want to sail much further south. And we've already died once, so... Oh, fire went up. Well, I'm just going to sleep through the night here. So that's one of the things that I want to do is move further south, where hopefully we can get a little bit slightly warmer climate. That'll have things like clay and some of the other resources we're looking for. Oh, we are too cold. Gotta get a fire going. There we go. Alright. The other thing we need is food. Because, yeah, this minus, like, 30 degrees Fahrenheit here in the middle of May. It's a real problem. Remember, I set myself a little limit of 15 lives now. that's not hard coded into the world, so like it's not gonna delete the world if I do that. Oh, I leveled up. Let's see here, what is it? I'm trying to remember what the X skills. Yeah, here it is. So I got survival. Here we go. So this is the X skills mod that I installed. This is my first time ever gaining a point in any of these. And so we can do long life, which will increase our health. Large stomach, which increases our maximum stomach size, basically. Well rested increases your experience gain for every skill up to 6%. Alright, so basically we get extra experience. Now, what might be more fun, let's see here. Thought I saw one. Let's see here. The cat eyes might be good. Luminarius might be awesome. Southbound bag. In your inventory, the strong back ability. Okay, that's interesting. Thought I had one that increased our ability to resist cold and such, but I could be wrong. Increases by 5%, an additional 1% for each level at survival skill max out at 15%. You know, this long life might not be a bad idea. Just increase the amount of health we have. Well, we warm up here before we head out. It's still super cold out there. Alright, we need to go and find some food. Let's do that real quick. Just put that there. Now, I set out these fish traps in, I think, the previous episode here. Nothing in that one. Nothing in that one. No fish there. Alright, so there's nothing there. So we're going to have to go do some hunting real quick. Because we need food. And we need food badly. Oh. Still got drifters out about. They are throwing rocks at us. Yeah, we got medium activity right now. Alright, let's see if we can't find something to eat. Because my character is already starting to starve to death here. That's a bit of a whole new round. Alright. I know we got some penguins over here. We can go hunt. Which I think we might, just because we need something. I mean, it's so cold out here, even the crowberries aren't fruiting. They're supposed to be cold weather bush. See here, this baby penguin, baby penguin. I want to kill the baby penguins. Well, I hope my second death here is not due to starvation. Well, we've got some time to figure out something to eat. Let's see, that's that copper deposit I found earlier. Let's go see if we can't find one of those caribou that was running around out here. And chase it into a little more open terrain here. This just comes back to why I'm gonna have to work on getting some rope once I have enough food to kind of keep me going here for a little bit. Yeah, like we're so cold that. Just when I saw something over there. The thing is, I've got like mods that should add more cold weather animals besides just the penguins. Like theory, we should be able to find mammoths. There's a caribou. What is that over there? What's that? See, we're gonna try and hit this one at a distance here. Oh, missed. Missed with the second sphere. Come on. It was. It was a cracked jar with a they survive with a foraging. Alright, come on. So we get this guy. I just need to stop running. There you go. Takes like 3 hits from the throne sphere to kill one of these. There you go. Unfortunately, when it's snowing like this, the blood trail mod that I have wears off quickly. I'm worried that it's gotten away from me. So SWAT turn this direction. There's a bear over there, which I'm not anywhere near ready to fight. Do you see that? Like, if I could get it stuck in a pit, I would absolutely fight the bear and hunt it, because there'd be a lot of meat. But it's just not an option right now. We're gonna stop and build a fire. Alright, come on. One tree. Yep. Which is fine, because we needed some of the... we needed some logs anyways to build a proper raft, because I want to build a better raft here. And me without any dry grass, I just realized. Dry grass, dry grass, dry grass. There may not be any over here. Found some more copper right there. But that's going to do me any good right in a second. There you go. That's very short grass. So that's something we can use to make a fire. There we go. That'll save us from the cold for the moment. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to test something here. I'm going to bandage up and see if that can help heal us a little bit. That's helping some. Alright, so got those bandages out of my inventory. We also got some cattails, which I'm going to save these cattails because I think there's a way for me to basically turn them into the roots, thanks to one of the mods I'm using. And I may be able to plant those if I can get a warm enough area to put them in. Oh, there's some resin over there. We've warmed up fairly well now. Alright. Let's go see if we can't find something better food-wise here. It definitely needs more grass. Yep. don't need the resin, but I will mark it. Yep. It still says it'll sprout in less than a day on that pine tree over there. I'm kind of worried that pine tree is not going to grow back. Pardon me again. This drainage in my chest is just very annoying. Oh, got some more caribou over here. Let's sneak up on them. So we can kill one of these. That'll take care of our food problem for a little bit. Hopefully long enough for us to get this raft and move somewhere warmer. Because I'm just going to take the important stuff with me. But I found that if I don't like immediately chase them, they'll sometimes not run very far. So like you can see, he went and sat down over there. There's also a bunch of something stuck down in that hole there. What are those? Those... I think those might be caribou. I think that's about right. Got him. Alright, let's grab the other spear here. Alright. What's this? That's 4 axe bits that I've already marked. There he is. I can see his antlers sticking up over there. I think these are heather plants here, if I remember correctly. Which unfortunately don't really provide us much good. As you can see moving around. See if we can't get him here. So again, if we can get this caribou, we'll be able to feed ourselves. Doesn't solve, the long-term problems. But it solves them in the short term. Should do it. Don't run off. Don't run off. Don't run off. I think one more spear should drop this caribou. Yes. Got it. Alright. Alright. What is this? Just quartz. Okay. Seeing if there's anything interesting in that rock that was sticking out there. Not really. But alright. Caribou hunted. So that's food. And another hide. I do kind of love this mod that makes it so you just drop everything. Alright, so now what I can do... Head back to the house. I heard some penguins. I don't know where they are. I think it's the same one so I was messing with before. Oh, there's some emperor penguins down there. Alright. Yeah, these emperor penguins are also a pretty good source of food. Yep. because they also give, like, you know, red meat and stuff. But anyway, so there we go. We got some more hides, some more food. Now we just gotta get back into the house and cook it. It's even so cold, these dwarf pines aren't even growing. We got a rabbit. I'm sorry, little Arctic bunny. I need your food more than you need to hang out by my house. Sorry, bud. Don't care about the small bones, though. The small bones don't help me. Alright. Go grab those. Alright, let's get... I'll put that in here. There we go. Up there. Get this fire going and get some meat cooked. Let's see here. Let's cook this jerky here. That, and I'm going to cook like half the red meat. And the other half, I'm going to turn into jerky. There we go. That way I have something that lasts a bit longer. I have some horn stature in here. I do. You stack? No. They do not stack. Where is that? I'm just gonna do that, stack those up. Because I had some more hides around here somewhere. Right there. There we go, cook those up. And then get this. Because we're gonna take our rolling pin and do the whole tenderizing the meat thing to get a little extra food value out of it. There we go. We've finally stopped the character complaining. Alright, so now these are oiled. They're still not cured yet. Now this caribou hide. Is it one? No, it's two. It's two to cure one of these. Okay, so we'll put that down. There we go. Put that one curing. Then we'll grab one of these and get that curing as well. More cured hides. Some more warm clothing. There we go. There. Alright. We're running out of wood. There we go. We'll have to make a little bit more firewood because I'm going to need at least 2 pieces of, or 3 logs for my, so I'll need all 5 of those to make my raft. Now, I think it might actually be, is it this? And this to make my... No. Okay, so I think it's a bucket of water. I think you need a bucket of water to make cattails into cattail roots, or rhizomes, I think is what they call them. That's the root of the plant that spreads the plant. Because there's kind of like 3 ways for a plant to spread, if I remember correctly. It can make seeds, or it can have like rhizomes, basically like little roots that go around in the ground and create basically new copies of the plant. Yeah. And then there's some other method. There we go. Finally got our character warmed up again. Finally got some food in our belly. This day has just been an adventure, hasn't it? So what we'll do is, once this is done cooking, we'll take the rest of this firewood out and save it, just so that we still have some. And And then it's on to rope to get headed south. Because we're going to need to head south, and hopefully this red meat jerky will cure fairly quickly. Pardon me. Which will give us some long-lasting food. And we can actually use it to make, stews and stuff. And then the cured jerky, we can actually mix it into a trail mix. So if we have, like, nuts and stuff. So, like, if we need, some peanuts or whatever, pine nuts or other nuts, plus some meat. So, it's a long-lasting, food. Let's see your back. So, cheesy, nutty. Yeah, but you need a mixing bowl for that, which we don't have. We don't have any pottery anyways. But long-term things, and that's from the expanded foods and culinary artillery mods. I'm not sure which one. I think that one might be specifically expanded foods. So, someone in the comments knows. Feel free to tell me. Alright, so we're going to do this. Tenderize that out nicely. Why am I hearing music kick off again? Here we go. I'm going to eat one more meat real quick. Yep. There real quick. Alright, well, we're going to work on getting some more grass, because we have a mod that lets us make grass into rope. Which I'm going to be honest, is making this very possible, considering cattails aren't a thing for me here in the north. I have a mod that's supposed to make them grow in colder climates, but it is so cold up here that they aren't growing up here. Which is, again, part of the reason I want to move further south, so I can get things like cattails. There we go. Here's that knife. Hello, cat. Cat just jumped up the back of my chair. Alright. Now, I probably will move this series to a more edited format. Once we get to a little better situation. Like right now, with our survival being the way it is, kind of keeping it active. Cat, please quit climbing on me. You've already tore me up pretty bad today. The cat fell out of my lap earlier today and decided my arm was the closest thing for support, and cut a nice, like, 6-inch cut around my arm with her claws, trying to stabilize herself and falling out of my lap. Love her to death. She's very sharp, though. She's been all over us since we got back from our vacation. She was very upset the humans left for a week and didn't take her with them. Apparently unacceptable. Cat, please stop. You're stepping on my cords and stuff. If you want to sit in my lap, that's fine. Sit in the lap. Sit down. It's a good kitty. You're welcome to sit in my lap and hang out with me. There you go. She's finally settling down, folks. But, taking her a minute to figure that out. Alright, I'm not sure how much grass I'm going to need for this. Alright. Okay. Alright, let's see here. I'll grab these last couple. Alright, there we go. Now, that. And I think it's... Yeah, okay. Wow, we have enough to make 2 ropes. Alright. I thought we had enough to make 3 exactly. I see we're still playing with all the portals showing up. It is very, very, like, there's a lot of portal activity around here. Rift activity, I should say, is actually a more accurate term, isn't it? Well, very good grass. Alright. I can still hear the penguins over there. Alright. So I'm going to need 5 ropes in total. So you need, I think it's 3 for the raft, and then 2 for the ore. Yep, let's go this way. This has all been cut already. Alright. Alright, let's see how that gets us. That should get us 11 more of these bundles. Yep. Alright. And a little short. That's okay. So if we come into here to make the raft... Oh, I'm short logs. Dang it. Okay. I have enough rope. Not enough logs. Alright, let's go get some more logs real quick. Ow. Oh, goodness gracious. Maybe without like a proper weapon here. Don't really want to fight the sugar. There we go. I mean, I suppose I was asking for that by standing too close to a portal. This is something I'll be happy about, getting some metal once I can get to that. Then I'll actually be able to get like a fox. It's my preferred weapon for dealing with rivers and things. It's also, my character's starting to get a little cold, so we'll go ahead and come in here and light the fire for now. Yeah, you can see we're just barely starting to shiver. It's a little late at night. The main problem is, I don't think this counts as fully enclosed because that's open up there, because I don't have the pottery to make, or the clay to make a chimney to release the smoke anyways. So I can't really seal that in. It's a bit unfortunate. Let's see here. So we've got this cured jerky, which we can eat if we need to. It's not the best food. Actually, we're just gonna burn these feathers. Keep us warm for a bit, and that should let us sleep through the night without getting too cold. It's burning our hunger meter, something fierce though. And you can see this barely does anything to our hunger bar with these things. These little pieces of jerky. There we go. That's enough for now. Something to keep our character from starving here. Yeah, with Rift activity being high out there too, that's going to be a real pain. I can hear them. I can hear them outside. Let's see here. So we have the warm coat, the warm boots, the warm gloves. Wish there's a hat we could make. Or scarf. Let's see here. Hat. Alchemist's hat, fisherman's hat, hunter's cap. Sold by Taylor. No, the shepherd's hat. Yeah, same. And there's that top hat that I need, which is black cloth and sewing kit. The top hat is actually an item used in this game to summon a merchant. That's added by a mod. Basically, you make the top hat, and now here you go. This is the top hat I'm looking for. These are different top hats for summoning the different traders. So, like, if you notice, you need leather and cloth. And that'll summon the agricultural trader. Assuming you've built a room that they can live in. Which is one of the goals I've kind of set for myself here. Is to try and make a little village. Once I get a good enough food source and good enough like source of cloth and leather and other things going, that we can, support that kind of activity. Let's build a little village of traders. Assuming I don't die 15 times first. That's going to be hard, because it looks like I'm going to have different colors of leather for that. Which means we have to get, dye and stuff. What's a bed of nails? Huh. I didn't even know Primitive Survival had, like, a floor trap type thing that you could make. I had no idea. The things you learn by looking through the handbook. Oh, goodness. Whoa, 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 whoa. How'd you get in here? Back off. Nope. How did he climb up to there? Alright. Gonna have to fix that. Gonna have to fix that. Alright, I'm just trying to stay warm. Drifter's falling in through my... Mm-hmm. Yep. Don't like that. Let's see here. Trapdoor, trapdoor, trapdoor. Birch created trapdoor. Yeah, see, I need planks for that. And I'm not ready for that. Actually, ooh. I know it might work. I know it might work. Hold on. Hold on. I had a thought. I don't think these fences count as solid. Aha! There we go. It still lets the smoke out and keeps out the nasties. Victory. At least it looks like it's still letting the smoke out. It may not be letting the smoke out. Let me go outside and check. It's like close enough to actual morning. Portal is still out there. Is it letting the smoke out? Kind of. What we'll do is we're going to knock this out here. That way no more drifters try to ambush me in there. That was rude this morning. Alright. Well, let's go get the wood we need for our raft. Because that will, one, let us move out into the ocean, as well as let us move on to a different area. Hopefully warmer. Oh, yes, I hear you. Good morrow to you, my dear Emperor Penguin friends. I heard you. Where are you at? Yeah. What was that over there? I saw something fall over there. Because I do have some mods that add some other creatures, like orcs and goblins in theory. That's something I should check. Is if I can find one crowberry with berries on it. So I suspect they've all been eaten by animals. I have a mod that lets me make berry bush seeds out of the berries. I wonder if I don't know if it works on the modded in plants. I'll have to test that out later. Alright. What are these guys? These are caribou calves. They're little baby caribou. I'm not going to kill them. That would be rude. Little leaves. Alright. Let's see here. This one's not going to have enough logs on it. This one will. I think I'm trying to scare me there. Alright. You know, I'd be tempted to try and tame this caribou. I don't know that you actually can. Now, I know one thing I can use those hides for. I can use them to make hunter's backpacks, in theory. Let's see, anything else fall out of that tree? It spreads out in such a large area. I think I got a couple pine cones. So we'll put one back. There we go. In theory, it will sprout. I think it's actually too short for that. Or too cold, I mean. Good lord, what am I saying? I can use words today. I think it's actually too cold for the trees to sprout, because that one I planted the other day never grew up. Alright, that should be enough logs now. Yep. And there we go. Raft. Alright, so now one more rope. That should be enough to make one more rope. Yep, there we go. If I remember the recipe correctly, it should be 2 logs and 2 ropes, and there's our crude pine ore. We have a raft and an oar, so let's just grab a little bit more food for the road. And I think that's going to be this penguin over here. Zoom type love. My wife just sneezing. My wife is sneezing. Yeah, I know. I'm hungry. Oh, wow, he survived this. Yep. That emperor penguin had a chin on him. He was a little thick and strong. Yep. Alright, there we go. We'll get this cooked. And then let's head south. See if we can't find somewhere just a little bit warmer. Like we're gonna travel for a good ways south. We're probably gonna head for what would be effectively the equator of this map. Goodness. Okay. Hold on. Throw these in here. Throw the meat in there. There we go. Get warmed up a little bit. Go ahead and turn this into a large pelt. And go ahead and get that curing. And let's see here. These cured. Oiled. I almost feel like these are not curing fast enough. Yeah, they're curing real slow. Throw the feathers in there. The feathers actually burn weirdly, fairly hot. Alright. Now, to make the hunter's backpack, it's what? Okay, I can actually use the dry grass bundles for these. That's fantastic. I was worried about that. Alright. Where's my rolling pin? Need my rolling pin. Okay. Okay, so I have to cook it first, then I can tenderize it. That's fine. Yep. Eat the meat. There we go. Go ahead and cook that one as well. Get myself a little bit more food going here. I went out. There we go. Keep that going. Keep us warm. Get the meat cooked. Alright. I'm going to take these pine seeds with me, though. There we go. Starvation avoided. Let's see here. What can we take with us? Put these hides in here. Can I stack this? Yes, I can. Even though they're still working on drying. Alright, what do we have in here? Definitely want those seeds. I don't care about the antlers, if I'm honest. I definitely care about these hides. Those need to go with me. These pelts need to go with me. Alright, let's see here. Vine cones can go with me. These dwarf greens can go with me. Don't care about sandstone blocks. I both do and don't care about these metal bits. Honestly, kind of same with this granite stone. Hmm. Bow and arrow is not helpful right now. Because I kind of need to consolidate everything down into 2 boxes. One to have on the raft, and one I can carry with myself. So I definitely want these dwarf pine cones. And the regular pine cones, I'm actually going to eat. So what you can do is do that, and you can make them into pine nuts. I don't care about this dirt here. We'll eat these pine nuts. Alright, that gives us a bit more space. I do need the raft and the ore. I probably don't need this primitive raft now that I have the regular raft. I'll take the fish hooks. I'll take my original clothing. Take the dwarf pine. Definitely need the pelts. So I think I'll take these 2 boxes as they are. I'll put this in my inventory. Yeah, I think that works. Now, let's see here. So that leaves... So I think it's this one. Yep, that's one of the ones I'm going to take with me. So we'll lift that one up, put it onto our back. Nope. Let's put it down first. Okay. Let's go and eat these pine nuts real quick. Get a little more satiation. Okay, so raft here. Control. There we go. Yep, that one's attached. That's the other one I want to take. Put it on my back. Yep. And what else do I want? I'll take the resin. Actually, I'll take that. I'll just take that whole empty basket with me. There we go. Empty basket. Yeah. You know what? I don't need this primitive. Alright, there we go. And I'm going to have to throw out something else, too. What's it going to be, though? Actually, wait. Perfect. Okay, so what I can do... No, these are still curing. This one cured? No, that one's cured. No. Yes, that's cured. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay. Had to think about that for a second. I can make new poles. I will take the fish trap. There we go. Alright, let's stop and get warm for a second. I'm just going to throw a few sticks in here. Warm my character up, especially after jumping in the water. And the other thing I can do is actually, I'll just throw these in there, because I don't really have the space to carry those hay bales with me. Try to dry off a little bit here while my character's soaking wet. Alright, there we go. Yep, I got that. Alright, let's get rid of this raft. There we go. Goodbye, raft. Come on, new raft. And here we go. We are off. To the south. So, I'm probably not gonna show all of this travel. I'm probably gonna edit some of this out. But I'll bring you back if we find anything interesting. We begin our long voyage south. We will probably have to stop for food at various points. You know, because I only have so many provisions with me. What I will do is actually put those provisions on the toolbar so that we can eat as we travel. But I'll bring you back when we get something interesting. Alright, folks. Well, we found our next piece of land. It's actually not very far away. This is going to be a very shortcut, because I just came down straight south. Now, we're probably going to keep going south, so I'll have to work my way around. But I just want to stop and poke around for a second, see if I found any forageables of note while we're here. It's another, like, bauxite and sandstone biome, from the looks of it. With this kind of, you know, perch-like territory here. I also didn't see anything immediately hostile, so I thought I'd come out and poke around just a second. Ooh, looks like we've got something over here in the rocks. Looks like flint. We've got a cranberry bush. Now it says it's too cold for it to flower or fruit. Actually, I will mark it. Because if we find a place that's decent, you know, we can eventually move those underground, hopefully. Seeing lots of flint in the rocks here. Got some granite down here. We're just going to stick our nose in this cave a little bit. But we do have to be careful, because if I ran into a bow torn down here, I don't really have a defense, I just realized. So we're not going to actually stick our nose too far into the cave. This is not like a Homo sapiens run where caves are actually safe. I also need to mark my raft on the map, so still don't want to wander too far. The flowing water is interesting. It makes me think of some of the updates the devs have been posting. Like, for example, they are working on water wheels. People who may not know that. More flint and sandstone down here. The character's getting cold again. Alright, let's get out of here before we get too cold. You have to sit down and have a little campfire real quick. Just have some wood for that. Actually, part of the reason I saved some wood. I heard a bear. Oh god, the bear is on me. Into the water. I'm not fighting the bear. The bear is still chasing me. Get away, bear. There's the bear. Whew. That bear almost had me. Just wanted to make a little fire. Just wanted a little fire. Bear tried to eat me. You all saw it. Also, I'm just happy my torch didn't go out. Because that would have been a disaster. Alright, let's put the torch here in the inventory. I have to keep out my trusty rolling pin. Bear comes back. Oh, you got this. Just doesn't even do. The rolling pin has an attack rating. That's. I was saying that as a joke, and I hadn't even checked it. It does 1.5 health damage. Oh yeah. I mean that's terrible when compared to say my spear, which is 2. Although the wait, hold on. The rolling pin has a higher attack tier, meaning it has better armor penetration than my flint spear. Amazing. Amazing. Never change, vintage story. Never change. Alright, how's our temp doing? Our temp's doing better. I do have to throw something out there, I just realized. My haste to make a fire. And I forgot that I needed an open inventory slot on my hotbar there. Alright, grab this. There we go. Alright, well I'm going to continue our journey as we get away from where we encountered our polar bear that nearly ate us. It's also one of the tougher bears in this game. There he is. Pouting on the shore. That's right, Mr. Polar Bear. You'll never take me. At least not while I'm, trying to survive. Oh, got a ruin of some sort over there. But anyways, I'm going to do some more traveling south, and I'll bring you all back in a bit. Alright, folks, so I just tested something. So I was paddling along, and I saw some crowberries, lingonberries, sitting off to the side here, and it's one of those fruits added by the Wildcraft Fruits and Nuts mods. This is for cold weather areas, and it's still too cold for it to grow out here. However, I can indeed mix these with my knife to get lingonberry seeds, which I'm going to do real quick, so that we can actually plant lingonberries when we get to a warmer climate. It's because it's still too cold up here for them to survive. Actually, you know, I like these commoner boots, but I need the fruit more. There we go. And eat those. Grab those. Because we got some here. Character's getting cold again. But I'm going to continue my journey south for a little bit. Now that I've found some lingonberries, as well as some peat. Oh. These are flowering. What do I get when I break these? Yeah, I just get grass when I break these. Okay. That's the problem with these modded fruits, or these modded berry bushes, is they don't break into the bushes themselves when you break them. Now, I'm gonna have to stop and build a fire. Anyways, folks, I'll bring you back here in a second, once I get a little further along. Alright, folks, I thought I'd bring you back for just a minute. We're traveling here at night, and I just want to show you all the skybox. Look at that beautiful kind of northern lights look that we've got for the skybox right now, while I'm out here traveling at night. it's very pretty. This reminds me just how much work they put into making Vintage Story a beautiful game. And I don't know if that's from one of the mods or if that's something that just happens in the game. I've never really paid that much attention to it, but it could be a snowballer thing. I don't know. But I just wanted to show you all that. I thought it was just a very pretty skybox. But I'll bring you back when we get to probably our next area we're going to set up camp at here in a bit. And that'll probably be morning time, as we're going to have to stop and do some foraging, looking for food soon anyways, because I only got 7 pieces of jerky left, and that's really not going to, get us as far south as I'd probably like, with any amount of food left anyways, because I imagine we probably need to go somewhere between 20,000 to 30,000 blocks south to get into a climate that's probably going to be warm enough to really do what I'm trying to do. Alright, folks. I've kind of reached the southern end of this little bit of water I've been exploring. So unless I want to go back up and around to the right here, I'm going to try to go around to the left, see if I see anything. Or I'm going to have to start going cross-country, which would mean I'm going to have to abandon a lot of the stuff I brought with me. So we're going to poke around a little bit. But I'm also having to keep an eye out for any sort of food I can get right now, because food's getting real low. Which is going to be a problem real fast. I found some dwarf pine a second ago, but didn't have any of the nuts on it for me to eat. So we're trying to keep an eye out. What is this? That is an orc. That's what that is. What is it doing out in the water? Well, I don't think that orc's going to be a problem anymore. I want to see what this is. It's red willow. I don't know what that is. I guess it's just a type of tree. Character is also freezing to death again and starving. You're starting to see vines on the trees down here. That's a good sign. Got some more copper. What's this red willow? Got some copper around here too. This might not actually be a little bad spot to stop off and do a little bit of recovery for us here. Like, get some food and all that. So let's throw down a fire real quick. Yeah. And I'm probably going to stop the episode here as we explore this new area. Big new axe and everything. Need to get warmed up. I need to find some food. So I'll bring you all back in the next episode as we continue exploring and trying to find a source of food over here in this little forest area. It's kind of a big area, so we may have to. What we may have to do is just gather materials and go across, figure out really what is replaceable and what isn't replaceable, and just go cross country here. Come on. Stay lit. What it is it's snowing. It's putting my fire out. So what I'm going to have to do here is this. A big block. There we go. I'll get the fire relit. Alright. Try that one more time for that outro. Okay. Well, this has been Southbound McRom playing our Frostbitten Realms Vintage Story playthrough. We're low on food. We're far from home as we search for a better climate for longer term survival. So we'll see what it brings. I think we're just going to have to go cross country from this point on to try and continue our journey south. So we'll catch you in the next episode. Thank you all for joining me. This has been Southbound McRom. playing some Vintage Story in a Snowball Earth playthrough for you guys. Let me know what you all think. Give me ideas in the comments and all that. And we'll catch you all in the next episode.